Hello, everyone, and welcome to the All Sports All Plays Network. And we got a very special video for you guys today. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, everywhere else you can find us. We got a absolute amazing sportscaster coming on, one of the best sports debaters in the business today, Mr. Rob Parker. He's going to be helping us out today, talking about some great sports knowledge. But first, man, we got to get to our intro. So, my boy Nate behind the scenes, let's get that video rolling, buddy.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making the plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. Great eye in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so time the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
What's up, everyone? We are back here on the show. We have a heck of a panelist with us today. We got our boy Chris Brown. We got Freddie Henderson coming in a little bit. We got our esteemed coach, Coach Cam, and the one and only Rob Parker on the show today. How you guys doing, gentlemen?
Man, I'm doing great. Life is good right now for me.
Okay.
Hey, I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm excited about today's show, so let's get into it.
I'm with you. Mr. Parker, how you doing, sir?
I appreciate the invitation.
Thank you.
Hey, always a blessing to have you on, sir. But first, we got to start with our sponsors real quick. So if you guys got the holidays coming up, we got some great jewelry pieces for you guys with our girl over with Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. Great $5 jewelry, amazing quality for a low, low price. If you guys want to get some amazing jewelry, visit paparazziaccessories.com. Use promo code 160920. Also, be sure if you guys are watching this video live, and if you want to be the viewer of the month and win your very own ASAP Network t-shirt, which, none of us even have. So you guys are getting an exclusive. Our boy Brandon Herrera got the shirt last week. So if you guys want to get that shirt, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe to all of our videos. But if you guys don't want to be doing all that, you guys can also just buy a t-shirt as well for only a quick price of $25. Great quality shirts. I've seen some pictures, and I would definitely love to get my hands on one day. But without further ado, guys, we got to get into some questions. We got some great topics first. So, Mr. Parker, we're going to ask you a couple questions just to lob you some softballs up there first, get your feet wet. So my first question for you, sir. So what made you want to get into the sports casting industry, and what were some of your big motivations for trying to get in this business?
Well, I grew up in New York, and I grew up in Jamaica, Queens, and I wanted to play first base for the Mets. That was growing up. So I realized pretty early that I wasn't that good. So I had to have a plan, in case I didn't make it. So that's really what happened. It was born from my love for sports. And when I was a kid, I had a second grade teacher, Miss Noble, who told me at 7 years old that I should be a writer when I grow up. So between that, being planted in the back of my head, my love for sports, I used to read 3 newspapers a day as a kid. So here, a 9-year-old reading 3 newspapers, So I was always entrenched in that, and I worked for the high school newspaper, the college newspaper, all that kind of stuff growing up. But it was really my love for sports and my gift as a writer that kind of paved the way for me to have this career in journalism.
Yeah, that's always great to see. We see a lot now. A lot of writers are becoming more on-screen personalities. And it's just a great contrast because usually writers want to be on TV or vice versa. So it's just a great industry to be in overall in the sports industry. I love being in it myself, and I know everyone on our team loves it too. So let's see. Chris, I'm going to let you ask your question first, buddy.
Okay. What advice do you have to give for a young person, that wants to get into the sports journalism industry, and how, is it that they can be successful?
Well, first of all, it's very competitive. So if you're not going to really go all in, I say you're wasting your time because there's so many people who want to do this. So it's about putting in the work, putting in the effort. Like just having an opinion isn't good enough. You know, like anybody has an opinion, but what is it based on? You could have somebody. I always feel like someone could totally disagree with me on my opinion, but they'll know that I've researched it and they'll understand where I'm coming from based off. You know, always ask yourself this when you put out an opinion: based on what? What is it based on? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
You can't tell me that Mike Trout is a great clutch hit. Anybody, you know, to just say that she struck out in the ninth inning with the bases loaded. So your reaction the next day is he's not clutch.
Right.
Now you can say he's not clutch and then back it up and say, in the last 3 years, Mike Trout is batting 149 with runners in scoring position in the ninth inning. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That
Right.
your opinion becomes people can't like think that you're throwing something up against a wall. You have a concrete number to back it up, and that's how you make your opinion strong and make people want to listen to what you have to say and what you're doing.
Yeah, you got to have facts to back it up because it's always we see a lot of guys just kind of throw out random opinions and you kind of scratch your head afterwards like, man, does this dude really do any of the work behind the scenes, or is he just saying it to get views? But
Right.
It's always good to have those facts to back it up to let the viewers know also that you're being for real, you do all the homework, and that you're being truthful with your thoughts.
And here's the other thing: if someone's watching you and they realize that you don't know more than them, they won't watch you. Why would I
Right.
watch if you're talking about something and you don't even have any facts or figures? So you lose people. And when you say Mike Trout's not clutch, and then you throw out a number that people didn't know, people go, "Wow, I got some information today. That dude told me something I didn't know." That's what you're trying to do.
No doubt. All right, Freddie, if you're here, what's your questions for Rob Parker? Ain't working. All right, Coach Cam, on to the next one. What you got, man?
You know what? Honestly, both of you guys took both of the questions that I had for really, and he went really in depth with it there. But no, I just really wanted to know, what is the prep like getting ready for a debate show? What is the preparation like? I mean, like how long does it take for you to prepare and get ready for to actually debate a Skip Bayless, a Shannon Sharp or that nature?
Normally, they give us an idea of what we might be talking about the night before. There's an evening,
Right.
so there's kind of a thought process, and then you want to start to think about it, and then in the morning, they give you an updated list to see if anything's changed overnight or if there's something else we want to talk about. So at that, you start doing your research, start reading around, trying to figure out some stuff, and if you have some leads, they're researchers that we have. If I have some ideas and I say, man, this guy's just not clutch, I don't have the actual numbers myself, but I know I've seen him fail often.
Mm-hmm.
So then I go to a researcher and ask him to look up. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Gotcha.
back up the point. And if he says, well, he's batting 317 in the ninth inning, then I can't use that. Do you see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But if he comes back to me and says, hey, you know what? You're right. He's batting 129. Now I got that number. So you're looking for stuff like that. You also want to try to be as creative and not just follow the pack. It's easy to see somebody's great or, like everybody says that. If you say Patrick Mahomes is great, what everybody's saying that. So what's different? I could always remember after Tom Brady and the Patriots won the Super Bowl, fifth one against Atlanta. So that was like the coronation. Everybody, was ready to say Tom is the greatest and all that, right?
Right.
I came on the show and I was prepared, and instead of acquiescing and falling in line and calling him the GOAT, I called Tom Brady the GOAT, the LOAT, the luckiest of all time.
Yeah, I see the
I remember that.
And then, but it wasn't just saying he was lucky. Then I documented all the Super Bowls that they won, and how the tuck rule when he lost the football and they gave him, he never should have won that Super Bowl. than the one
Yes, sir.
Carolina where they kicked the ball out of bounds. Remember that?
Oh,
Mhm.
Panthers, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was another one. And then Seattle's at the 1.5 yard line with they throw a pick. Atlanta's 1st and 10 at the 22.
Uh-huh.
They kick a field goal. They're up by 11. They win that game. Do you know, like, so when I came on that day and I did both shows, Skip and Shannon, and I did the Herd,
Yep.
you know, and I used that, people were like, what? You know, like it was something that was so different from what everybody else was doing.
Gotcha.
But I had the information and the stuff to back it up. So it wasn't just me hating on him. I'm giving you the scenario of things that happened that worked out in his favor.
Gotcha.
Awesome. Well, all right, let's get into a few sports topics, guys. We have a heck of a game coming up. It's the Saints versus the Bucks. We have a quarterback battle for the ages, of course, Drew Brees and Tom Brady. We also have someone returning, Antonio Brown for the Buccaneers. So, Mr. Parker, I'll let you start off first. What are your thoughts on the game, and how do you think AB is going to do in his return for the first time in a while?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm sure they'll try to get him the football, get him involved. We saw that when he came and played with the Patriots a couple of years ago. And I know he had a touchdown in that game. So I'm sure Tom Brady is going to try to make it legitimate on why he wanted him, even though Bruce Arians said he had nothing to do with it, which we don't. So I'm expecting them to target him a few times. I don't know. It's a big game. I think it's a big game for the Saints. They've already beaten them, but I think for the Saints, Michael Thomas is back. I'm going to pick the Saints in this game. I think last week against the Giants, Tampa Bay didn't look that good. They were very fortunate to win that game. I'm going to go with the Saints.
Chris Brown, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, having AB returning back, I'm glad to see him back in football. Same thing on Michael Thomas. It's a lot of talk on Michael Thomas saying he isn't a top 5 receiver. He only runs certain routes. But at the end of the day, the production in me speaks for itself. But I'm going with the Buccaneers. I think their defense has been playing better than the Saints. And with AB returning, I don't know he's going to get 100% of the plays, 85% of the plays, but I do know Tom Brady wants him there. He's going to rely on him on that field, and he's going to get a lot of targets to me, especially in the clutch. So I'm going with the Buccaneers to win this.
Coach Cam.
I'm gonna lean towards the Buccaneers as well. I think the key thing is for the Saints is, can they get Tom Brady off his spot? And what I mean by that is, can they get that pass rush? Because Saints is known to get some pass rush, with those guys up front. And if they get the pressuring Brady early, he start to ducking in the pocket a little bit. So I'm really anxious to see how that goes early on in that football game. But I do think, the Bucks, made these moves for this type of game, for this run down the stretch. I do think the Bucks win a close one.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a close game, and it's kind of a good contrast between these two teams because you have two of the most, highly prolific quarterbacks to ever play the game with Drew Brees and with Tom Brady, of course, and you have two wide receivers who are dominant. You have Antonio Brown, of course, who hasn't been in the league in a while, but we all know what he can do on the field when he's healthy and when he's doing his thing. And then there's Michael Thomas, of course, who's one of the most highly prolific wide receivers in this game. Some might even argue he's one of the best. So it's going to be interesting. If I had to go with a pick, I'm gonna have to go with the Saints in this one. It's gonna be a close game, I think, but you can never count out Drew Brees. That man is one of the most amazing quarterbacks I've ever seen throw the ball around, it's hard to ever count him out. Let's just be honest. He's one of the most. Him and Brady, they're both very clutch players, but I'm gonna give the slight edge to Mr. Drew Brees with the Saints, and they're gonna keep that momentum rolling, and we'll see how they're gonna do for the rest of the season.
Yeah, so, I think the Saints were able to do that to Brady in the first time they met him.
Yep.
And when you get to a 43-year-old quarterback, it's different. If you give him all day, I don't care who you are. If you're a quarterback in the NFL, you'll pick apart any defense if you have time to throw.
No doubt about that. All right, fellas, we got the one last topic, the hottest one I think we can all agree on. Who is the GOAT in terms of basketball? We got MJ, Michael Jordan, of course, and LeBron. Rob Parker, I know you've been debating this left and right with everyone you can. So what's your thoughts on this one for one more time for us?
For someone, now remember, I started covering the NBA in 1987. Okay. Michael Jordan made that shot against Craig Elo in Cleveland. I was covering. I was sitting courtside. I was there. I watched Michael Jordan and I watched LeBron James. When LeBron James scored those 25 straight points in Detroit against the Pistons in the playoffs, I would cover that game. I've seen both of these guys up close, and it's Michael Jordan, and it's not even, to me, a debate. And what I mean by that is, of course, LeBron is a great player, but sports is about wins and losses. I always say sports has a short menu, and it's inconceivable for me to take a look at Michael Jordan, what he was able to do, and look at LeBron James, who's lost more finals than any other regular season MVP in the history of the NBA. And for people who talk about, well, he's been to the finals 10 years, Jerry West went to the finals 9 years. He never was mentioned as MVP, right? So why? Because he only won once, right? Marv Levy went to the Super Bowl as the coach of the Buffalo Bills 4 years in a row. His name is never mentioned as one of the great NFL coaches. You know why? Because he didn't win. It's about winning. And you could look at all the stats. LeBron's played longer and pad stats, but it still comes down to winning. And I think that Michael has done that. And it's not just about being 6-0. He's the all-time leading average-wise scorer in the playoffs. He won the scoring title 10 years in a row. Defensive play. We could go on. His resume is impeccable. I just don't see any weak spots in Michael Jordan's resume. So I think Michael Jordan is the GOAT. If I were to do a list, probably would put LeBron second because of all the accolades and all the numbers he's put up. But that's my order.
Yeah, like you say, you got to have those facts to bring it up, and numbers don't lie either. That finals record, of course, is always going to have Jordan ahead of LeBron, in my opinion, as well. Like I said, Michael Jordan's resume is as long as any list you can think of in terms of his accomplishments. So,
and let me add one other thing.
Yep, go ahead.
When you talk about like the LeBron era, I mean, LeBron has 4. Steph Curry's won 3. So his own era, you could start to look around. Who didn't eat during the LeBron era? Everybody did. Okay? Dirk Nowitzki won a championship. Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett won a championship. I could go on, right? Everybody won. Now, here's the other thing. When you talk about Michael Jordan during that time, I can give you a list of 10 Hall of Famers who never got a championship when Michael played, including Patrick Ewing, Reggie Miller, Gary Payton and Karl Malone during that time. Karl Malone, John Stockton. There's a list of at least 10 players. And I think that speaks volumes.
Yeah, it really does. Chris Brown, what are your thoughts on this debate that will never end?
Yeah, this debate will never end. And personally, I think LeBron James is the GOAT. But my uncle and I had a very good conversation. He told me, you can look up all the stats you want, which I've done. But he said, watching Michael Jordan in person is something that I personally never got to do. But he said, if you'd have watched Jordan in person, then your thoughts on this question would be totally different. So unfortunately.
But let me ask you this too.
Yes.
I think your uncle is right. But at the end of a game, who would you want to make the final shot? LeBron, have the ball, LeBron or Michael Jordan? I'm asking.
I still think at the end of the game, I would put the ball in LeBron's hand because
This is where millennials and young guys, I think you're disingenuous. First of all, LeBron is a terrible free throw shooter. Okay, so that doesn't make sense to me. And number 2, when it comes to often he passes up the big shot and other people take it. I'm not saying that there aren't the plays where somebody's wide open that you wouldn't give them the ball, but I'm talking about I could give you scenarios where LeBron had the ball and there's a player I remember with Golden State and Green had 5 fouls in front of LeBron. LeBron has the ball. The Cavaliers have a 2-point lead. If he takes the ball to the basket, Draymond Green either has to step aside or gets fouled out of the game. He passes up the ball in that situation. There was another one where Steph Curry was guarding him, and he gave up the basketball, where Steph Curry can't do anything. So I think when the game is on the line, you would not, if you're being totally honest, want LeBron. He's a 70% free throw shooter. Often looks like he doesn't even want to get contact because he doesn't want to have to go to the line. He made some free throws this year, and I'll give him that. But I'm
He's
saying
good, yeah.
history with taking shots at the end is not good.
Yeah, history is on Jordan's side, in my opinion. Look, they're both two guys that you would want to have the ball at the end because they're both going to draw defenders. But if I want someone to actually take a shot, I go with Jordan, just because we've seen all the clutch moments he's been able to do throughout his amazing career. And LeBron, while yeah, he has made a few clutch shots in his, it doesn't compare to Jordan though. He, like you said, he'll either pass it up, like we saw in the finals that one game, and that didn't work out too hot for him. But I got to go with Jordan. So, Coach Cam, what are your thoughts on this?
I'm with Mr. Parker. You know, I was able, luckily, to see them, watch them both play, and you know what Michael did on the court, and it wasn't even that. Like how he advanced the game forward globally. I think with that '92 Dream Team, what he did there as well is just unparalleled to what I'm not saying what anything LeBron can do, but just like Rob said. Once you have that game on the line, and I know it's the thing about LeBron, when the game is tied, he will take the shot.
Yes.
But if they're down a point or two, he's going to kick that bad boy out to Corver, Davis, or whoever for a three-pointer. He doesn't want to be responsible for missing one of those two free throws at the line. And that's where, for me, just the killer instinct, I have to go with Michael Jeffrey Jordan as the GOAT. There ain't nothing wrong with LeBron being two. That's all.
But your point is so well taken, and I agree. And I tell people there's a different shot between the score being tied, where if you miss it, there's overtime.
Yep.
Compared to taking a shot when you're down, and if you miss it, you lose.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, it's not the same shot. LeBron has made shots with the score tied.
Yep.
But I'm talking about taking a shot when you're down. And again, I bring back that Craig Elo one. That shot wasn't just to win that game. That was for the series. Yeah. It was a 5-game series, that shot. He wasn't looking for Scottie Pippen or Steve Kerr. It was like, oh, I've got to take this shot, and I got to make this shot. And I think that is a true statement if you watch and go look at some of LeBron's. And people say, well, it doesn't matter if the score is tied or not. It does make a difference.
Yeah, definitely kind of a mental thing, too, like you guys are saying, is that, yeah, it's one thing if you miss a shot and the game's tied because, yeah, the game ties and it'll go to overtime. But it's a big difference if you're down 1 or 2 and you got to hit a clutch shot from either the free throw line or at a 3. There's a big difference in there mentally. And Jordan had that killer instinct, too. And I think Kobe was up there, too, where he would take any shot. Him and Kobe are two of the most tenacious shooters that I've seen in clutch moments.
I remember Kobe's rookie year watching.
Yep.
And I could not believe that in the playoff game when they lost to Utah and Shaq was on, Kobe had 2 air balls at the end of the game. They lost.
Yep.
I thought to myself, this dude has a pair on him. To be a rookie. And you didn't miss 1 air ball. You had 2 air balls at the end of a playoff game. As a rookie. Most rookies would have rolled up into a ball after missing the first one.
Yep.
So y'all don't think LeBron has a killer instinct at all? I'm asking that. You don't think he has any killer instinct in him?
I don't think so. I don't think that's his game. I really don't. I think LeBron, it's not often, and maybe it's because of his style of play, or he doesn't have like a little pull-up jumper or something. You know what I mean? Like it's he run you over, or go straight to the basket, and sometimes or take a fadeaway 3. You see him put up sometimes. Don't like the 2 moves that he has, right? And I don't know if he really has a signature move that he can get a basket when you need one. Other than that.
Yeah, because, if we're honest here, LeBron's best shot is him just driving to the basket. That's what he does. And, I don't blame him, though. It's dominant.
Big and strong compared to everybody else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's his bread and butter, and that's all fine. But, look, these two are going to be great. They're going to be debated for way after we're all gone. And there's never going to be a whole right answer. No one's ever going to agree on this. But
there's no right or wrong answer. What people got to understand.
Yeah.
Only 2 and 2 when you're doing math is 4. Everybody, that's the number for everybody. That's the right.
Yeah.
sports, everybody has a different criteria. Everybody looks at things differently, but I think people need to put everything into to me, winning. When you look at everything, first of all, when you talk about a GOAT, you should nitpick at everything that someone's put in their resume. And number two, winning means more than anything, because that's really why you play. It's not just about piling up stats. There's a lot of guys who have piled up stats over the years and haven't won anything. And I think winning matters.
Okay. That's a great way to end it. So thank you, Rob Parker, for coming on the show. Do you have anything you'd like to promote, sir?
Yeah, well, you guys could always check out my website, getrobbed.com, GETROBBED.com. You can buy a couple of books up there. Got a book of columns that I've written called If I'm Writing, I'm Ripping. That's also on Amazon.com. And there's also the book, Rob Parker's Tales of a Urinating Mouse. And whenever it's a big game, my mouse usually comes out. So you can check that out. That's on Amazon.com as well.
Awesome. Well, for everyone watching this video, guys, be sure to check out Rob Parker's amazing website. Check out some of those books he was talking about. I know I'm probably going to need to get one for Christmas and get some good reading done finally. So for everyone watching, for our host, Chris Brown, Coach Cam, Rob Parker, of course, Nate behind the scenes doing the production side. Thank you guys so much for doing this. I'm your host, Logan Landers. This has been the All Sports, All Plays Network. We'll be talking to you guys a little bit later on in the week. See you guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Peace out. Thank you.
Thank you.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. Great eye in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace up the field, so type the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.